Welcome to Inside Gaming. I'm Jack, and hold on tight to your favorite Magic system because today's roundup is kicking off with a whirlwind, a blizzaga, if you will. That's not even a word. Of Final Fantasy XVI stories. We're up to the 16th. It was final. It should be the last one. An embargo for Final Fantasy XVI previews lifted earlier this week, creating a storm of takes and new information about the game, but that's not all. The game's producer, Naoki Yoshida, did multiple interviews with multiple outlets, revealing even more details, and one interview even stirred up debate over the common use of the term JRPG. Here we go. ArsTechnica said the Final Fantasy XVI's shift to stylish action is a bold new direction for the series, and Polygon's Michael McWhorter described a moment from an icon battle, saying it was a laboriously long Final Fantasy summon spliced up with a 3D fighting game, complete with top-of-screen health bars. It was the kind of visual dazzle that will enwrap you even if you aren't the one playing. That was a lot of $5 words. If you aren't aware, icons are what summons are called in Final Fantasy XVI, but a unique aspect of the game is the lead character, Clive, embodies the icon Ifrit and combats other mythological beings from the Final Fantasy mythos in bespoke set pieces throughout the story. Continuing the good vibes, popular YouTuber Skill Up said,
I loved it. I think it looks spectacular, both in its technical detail and its art design. I think the music is superb, but I wouldn't expect any less from Soken. I think the dialogue and voice work is excellent. I think the combat is accessible, yet clearly has a lot of flexibility and depth, and I think the boss encounters were epic.
Notably, after playing the game, SkillUp interviewed some of Final Fantasy XVI's senior staff, which led to some introspection about the term JRPG. Yoshida revealed that he and likely many other developers in Japan find the term to be offensive. Specifically, Yoshida said, quote,
"For us as developers, the first time we heard it, it was like a discriminatory term, as though we were being made fun of for creating these games. And so for some developers, the term JRPG can be something that will maybe trigger bad feelings because of what was in the past. It wasn't a compliment to a lot of developers in Japan."
Yoshida explained that he remembered seeing the definition of a JRPG being described 15 years ago, and it was, quote,
kind of like Final Fantasy VII, and it has this type of graphics, this length of story, and compartmentalizing what we were creating into a JRPG box. And I took offense to that because that's not how we go into creating. We were going in to create an RPG, but to be compartmentalized, we felt that was discriminatory.
SkillUp described the exchange as eye-opening, and the rest is kind of history, as people have been beefing online since the quote was posted. Some rallied behind Yoshida's explanation, agreeing that the term can carry a stigma, while others vehemently argued this term is innocuous. We don't have time to get into it, because there is a lot more Final Fantasy XVI news to talk about. In another interview with VG247, Yoshida revealed that Final Fantasy XVI has over 11 hours of cinematic cutscenes, quote, all seamlessly interwoven into the game, playing in-engine in real time. That's more than the combined runtime of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Man, someone get Peter Jackson on the phone. In yet another interview with Japan's PlayStation blog, Yoshida made it clear that Final Fantasy XVI will not be coming to PC 6 months after the PS5 release, like many of us assumed based on some verbiage and fine print used in promo trailers for the game. Specifically, Yoshida said, quote, if we start optimizing the PC version after the PS5 version is released, we will not be able to optimize it in 6 months. So it will not be released in a short span of 6 months. We would like to release it eventually, and I think we will, but right now we are not at the stage where we can say when. In short, Final Fantasy XVI will be exclusive to the PS5 for at least 6 months and change. Then eventually Xbox might see a version in 2024 or later due to an exclusivity contract between Square Enix and Sony. Finally, our last bit of news this week about the game has to do with accessibility. While it's been confirmed that Final Fantasy XVI will have an unlockable arcade mode complete with real-time scoring and a new Game Plus mode that's reportedly harder than Devil May Cry 5's hardest setting, according to a report by Gematsu, Final Fantasy XVI is also including an accessory system that will allow players unfamiliar with action games to make certain aspects of the combat more accessible to them. Basically, there are rings that can be equipped that will allow players to enable systems like auto-dodging, auto-healing, and one-button combos. It's unclear if the game will feature a full suite of accessibility options like God of War Ragnarok and The Last of Us Part 1 Remake, but at least it's a nice optional ramp for those who have been longtime fans of the series, but maybe aren't ready for the fast-paced action on par with Devil May Cry 5. Alright, that's enough Final Fantasy XVI talk for now. Let's do some other stuff. Rise, ye tarnished! I'm assuming that I sounded more pirate than that. I don't know. New Elden Ring DLC has finally been confirmed, yay, by From Software. The expansion titled Shadow of the Erd Tree was rather unceremoniously revealed to the world by the official Elden Ring Twitter account on a midnight tweet on February 28th that reads, "Rise, Tarnished, and let us walk a new path together. An upcoming expansion for Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree is currently in development. We hope you look forward to new adventures in the lands between." The tweet included some concept art which has already sent the Elden lore masters into a frenzy, speculating about the art itself, as well as what the in-game content might be about. The running theory is that we might learn a little more about Torrent's previous owner, who some in the Elden Souls community believe to be Mikola. There's no date yet, but it's still pretty exciting. Get excited. Pokemon Day, February 27th has come and gone alongside a Pokemon Present showcase, which seems to have left fans a little disappointed. As far as video games are concerned, the big announcements included new DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and an official update on Pokemon Sleep, which isn't really a game so much as it is a sleep app, which will be available later this summer. Pokemon Sleep, I don't know about that one. The gist is, you leave your phone or the upcoming Pokemon Go Plus peripheral by your bed, and the app tracks and analyzes your sleep. Can be creepy. In addition to some standard sleep app features, there's also a pocket monster collecting element. Depending on how you sleep, different Pokemon with a variety of sleep styles will gather around a slumbering Snorlax. As for the Scarlet and Violet DLC, it appears to be themed around a Japanese fireworks festival, and it's called the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero. It will also be two parts, part 1, the Teal Mask, and part 2, the Indigo Disc. Players will travel to the land of Kitakami, where they will encounter brand new Pokemon, as well as over 230 familiar Pokemon that haven't shown up in Scarlet or Violet yet. A new stop-motion miniseries for Netflix was also announced, which is called Pokemon Concierge. Episodes will follow an island resort concierge named Haru and his Psyduck friend as they, quote, greet the mini Pokemon who visit the resort as guests. There was a number of other Pokemon related announcements, but those were the big ones. A little underwhelming compared to last year's, which revealed Gen 9, but it's kind of to be expected given how development cycles work. Also, there's a Pokemon parade at Universal Studios Japan. It's pretty rad. The new DLC and Pokemon Sleep do look pretty neat though. Looping back around to some more Square Enix news, the studio behind Forspoken has been shuttered. Earlier this week, the official Luminous Productions Twitter account tweeted out a note which reads, quote, "You may have heard the news that Luminous Production is merging with Square Enix. Beginning on May 1st, our talented team will join Square Enix to deliver new, innovative gaming experiences to players across the globe." The note goes on to explain that the studio will remain focused on Forspoken for the remaining months and deliver a promised patch to address overall game performance, as well as DLC in summer called In Tanta We Trust. The official announcement concludes, quote, "When we established Luminous Productions in 2018, our vision was to make AAA games that fuse technology and artistry to deliver completely new play experiences. Having the chance to do just that has been a dream come true. We appreciate you taking this journey with us and look forward to continuing to create new entertainment and experiences as a part of the Square Enix family." As of the time of this recording, there is no official word on loss of staff, so in short, it sounds like the team known as Luminous Productions, a subsidiary of Square Enix, will be no more, and its former members will be folded into Square Enix as support for a variety of other projects. Forspoken's reception was widely middling, and the game was memed almost instantly for its dialogue, but even still, shutting the whole studio down feels like a loss. Star Wars Jedi Survivor might actually be the second part of a trilogy. At least that's if the game's director Stig Asmussen gets his way. Earlier this week on IGN's interview series Unfiltered, Asmussen told Ryan McCaffrey, quote, "I always wanted to see this as a trilogy." He continued, "How can we take Cal and the crew to new places beyond what we were doing in the first game?" Of course, the first game was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which was very well received by critics and fans. Its wide success ultimately led to the green light from Lucasfilm and EA to produce a sequel. Now Respawn is looking to repeat that success with Jedi Survivor, and it sounds like they are prepared to finish out Cal's story with a third game if they do. Asmussen added, quote, "We had a pretty decent idea of time frame where we wanted Survivor to take place, what the stakes were going to be, what the tone of the game was going to be, what Cal was going to be up against, and how the crew was going to factor into that. And there's ideas of what we could do beyond that as well." The developer also said that if Respawn does get the green light for a third game, it would be very likely developed in Unreal 5 as opposed to Fallen Order and Survivor, which were made in Unreal 4. This all seems likely since there is so much hype around Jedi Survivor already, and early access impressions of the game have been primarily positive. Last week, our title story was about steps Valve and Bungie are taking to combat cheaters. In Bungie's case, their strategy is suing cheat makers into the ground for copyright infringement. There were a lot of comments about the stories, but Steek Me Hink pointed out something worth noting, writing, quote, "It sounds good. However, if reverse engineering is the issue, then all mod creators could get sued and mods would cease to exist." It's a good point, but keep in mind the two cheat makers in last week's video were actually selling their cheats after reverse engineering Bungie's code, which is probably what actually gave Bungie strong enough legal grounds to sue and pursue millions of dollars worth of damages. Reverse engineering is often used for games preservation too. It's a scary line though. Yeah, it could go either way. You know, mods and like old ROMs and stuff, that's all reverse engineering. So, you know, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. I'm sure we'll find out more in the future. Let's talk about some games that are coming soon. The inspiration behind it all returns to its 2D action roots. Castlevania's unforgettable characters and gothic setting meet the fast-paced combat of the award-winning roguelite Dead Cells in this unprecedented collaboration. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania is coming to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on March 6th. Look Kid, Deckham is a solitaire-style boxing game. What? A card game you play to play. Okay, but you're not even a contender, you're a nobody, a total long shot. The champ is a stone cold killer, as big as an ox, stronger than oak, but you got a lot of heart, kid, and Mickey loves ya. Deckham is coming to PC on March 7th. That was some flavor text. Melon Journey Bittersweet Memories is a story exploration game about revisiting a town full of adorable animals with eccentric personalities. Yet under its cute and nostalgic surface lies a dark tale of crime and corruption. Always with the dark tales. Melon Journey Bittersweet Memories comes to the PC on March 7th. Outlanders, welcome to the Outlands, a faraway place where work is hard but rewarding, where people dream big but stay grounded, where friends become family and settlements become cities. Outlanders is going to be on the PC on March 7th. Guide Pronti and its Javelin partner Bront as it defends the once great city of Roila. Explore the deep sea, fight mutant sea creatures, and discover the secrets behind this new Atlantis in this beautiful action-packed adventure. Pronti is coming to the Switch on March 7th. I'm not sure what I just read. Hunted by mercenaries of an enemy with untold power, the fighter Pseudo and the creature under his protection begin a perilous quest to the edges of a strange lands. Clash Artifacts of Chaos is coming to the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, and Xbox One on March 9th. Break your enemy's souls to reclaim your pride. On Kaishijima, Demon Warrior Kuta and his partner Kaizmaru challenges these souls to a trial, all in order to defeat Momotaro, who is both human and evil monster, a tale of sky and wind as they embark upon an island quest. Oni, Road to the Mightiest Oni, comes to the PC, PS5, PS4, and Switch on March 9th. That was like a Mad Libs, that was wild. A group of children mysteriously disappeared during a festival on Rogue-Su Isle. Although they were found, they had lost their memories. Now they have returned to the island as teenagers and rely on a camera with the power to capture and seal away unthinkable horrors. That's the worst. Fatal Frame, Project Zero, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse is coming to PC, PS5, Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch March 9th. Session Skate Sim is made by and for skaters. The dual stick controls faithfully reproduce your feet on the skateboard for an ultra-realistic experience. Try out real-life iconic skate spots, customize your skater and equipment with items from the top brands. Session Skate Sim is coming to the Switch on March 9th. That is a great game, by the way. Know by Heart, childhood friends reunite after spending a long time apart, revisiting old memories and rekindling their friendship. However, something beyond their control will ruin this reunion. Know by Heart is coming to the Switch on March 9th. Before Your Eyes, embark on an emotional first-person narrative adventure where you control the story and affect its outcomes with your real-life blinks. What? Immerse yourself in a world of memories, both joyous and heartbreaking, as your whole life flashes before your eyes. Before Your Eyes is coming to the PSVR 2 on March 10th. Hey, a VR game. And lastly, DC's Justice League Cosmic Chaos. Suit up as Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman and take on some of the most powerful supervillains in the DC universe with DC's Justice League Cosmic Chaos. Comes to the PC, PS5, Series X, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch on March 10th. And that's it for this week's episode. Thank you for watching. Have yourself an amazing weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.